Hi there, this is Christian Dy and Mike Stewart with your Vancouver real estate market update. It is July the 21st, and what we want to do is we want to let you know how the real estate market is going in the summertime over here. So let's jump right into it over here. Some quick stats over here. As of June, and all of our data is from June. Listings are about 54% higher than the same time last month in 2020. So, what we also have over here is that there's an 11.9% decrease from homes sold in the month prior. Now, a quick reminder that whenever the analyst predicts whenever there's a sales to listings ratio, whenever the sales to listings ratio is below a 12%, it's a signal that the market is trending down in price. And whenever the sales to listings ratio is above a 20%, that means that prices are trending upward. Let's take
And
a look at March. Let's take a look at April. Let's take a look at May. And now let's take a look at what's happening in June. And what you're going to notice over here is the prices are still trending up because they're all above 20%, but they're slowing down. So they're trending up, but notice back in March, we had detached homes at 52.9%. Now in June, we're at 27.5%, which means, of course, that the number of sales compared to the numbers of listings isn't as high. So the prices are still being pushed upward, but it's slowing down as compared to earlier in this year. So what do we predict over here according to the data? Well, the prices themselves should still be trending upward. Mike, what do you think about this?
yeah, I think right now we're seeing the market sort of calm down after an extended period of elevated activity because of all the market stimulus. But the market typically does slow at this time of year because people start going on vacation, the kids are off school, and people want to go away. Another thing that's happening too is with the relaxing of the COVID-19 restrictions on travel within British Columbia and within Canada, you're seeing a lot of people just wanting to get away. I don't know about you, but I think, I'm feeling this, and people that I work with and people that I deal with on an everyday basis are really feeling sort of burnt out from having to be restricted to just Vancouver, even though it is a great place to live and be. And a lot of people are wanting to travel, and that's what people are doing. So that does slow the market. Also, when you have an extended period of sort of elevated activity, just after a while, that pool of buyers gets depleted because they buy what they want to buy, and then things start to calm down. Now, in terms of what's going to happen going forward, one of the things that I look at is what the Bank of Canada is doing in terms of what they're doing with in terms of interest rates, and more importantly with quantitative easing, or the bond buying or printing of money, which has a very stimulative effect on real estate markets because it pushes down long-term interest rates. And the Bank of Canada has scaled back some of their quantitative easing, either the printing presses where they're printing money, but they still are printing money dramatically. And interest rates are still low, and they're not saying that they're going to be they're not saying when they're going to raise rates, but they're not saying it's going to happen anytime soon. And if you have a 5-year fixed rate mortgage at under 2%, that is just an extremely low interest rate that is extremely stimulative to the real estate, into the real estate market. And if you've got an interest rate under 2% and inflation gets close to 2% or even above 2%, which a lot of people are saying may start happening, that money starts to become free. So I think we're going to see the market calm a bit, and then come September, I think things are going to really pick up. And I think things are really going to pick up when the border is opened, particularly for the condo market. What are your thoughts, Christian?
Yeah, looking back at what the forecasts were from Canadian Real Estate Association is pretty much coming to fruition. We're on track for that for the tail end of this year over here. And so now what I've seen from my clients over there are March, April, May, people getting outbid, 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 outbid. Then people who did either, they got a place, they're in the place now, they all want to enjoy summer. And then you have this group of people that were all excited to buy, and now they're not so excited. They're
Yeah.
things pulling down. Why don't we think about it? Why don't we look at this again later? And full transparency, I'm in that camp. I was someone who was all excited, and I there was a place that I really wanted to buy, and of course that meant I had to sell my own place. And then I was caught in the crazy. But now it's summertime. I
You got
am
other things you want to do.
there are things I want to do, but if I am to revisit that, it's not going to be in July. It'll be maybe tail end of August, maybe September. And I think the rest of the country, especially because of the restrictions as well. And from what I've heard from other clients over here, they're going in with offers with subjects. They're going in. The subject-free over asking has really cooled itself down over here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's changed. It's
yeah,
made the market's a bit easier for buyers, but prices are still rising, as can be seen from the sales to listing ratio that you mentioned earlier. And that's basically the percentage of listings that are sold in a particular month in the market. And we still have a situation where prices are rising. That sales ratio is indicating rising prices and significant rises over time.
yeah. Like, tell me this, Mike. From what you're seeing with your clients, or your team is seeing with their clients, what type of numbers are we talking about with the listing price? Are we still in the environment of asking and a little above asking? Is it possible to ask a little bit below asking?
No, we can. People are able to negotiate on price, and depending on what it is and where it is, the less expensive options is going to be more difficult. More expensive options are going to be a lot easier to negotiate on price. That has more to do with the foreign buyers tax than anything else, and also just the structure of the real estate market, which is very much like a pyramid. There's less buyers at the top and more buyers at the bottom. Um, so yeah, it's you're definitely able to negotiate in this market, but it is still absolutely a seller's market and not a buyer's market.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. And if there was something that was still kind of red hot, would you say it's still the single family houses, or is it townhouses or condos? What are you seeing?
It's townhouses. It is less expensive condos, and it is stuff that's just outside of the core. That's affordable for people who are earning incomes here in the Vancouver economy and the BC economy. Um, yeah, but stuff that's maybe closer into the core is not as busy. But overall, pretty much all markets across British Columbia are quite active, and there is a lot of demand. And I think that will continue, along with that will continue once the borders open and once people start coming. And I think personally, I mentioned this before, I think the federal government has sort of timed it so that when the restrictions are eased, that's when they're going to start working towards reducing some of the stimulative effects, or, the stimulative activity with the Bank of Canada and whatnot.
Got it. So right now, if you had a client that was thinking of buying, jumping into the market over here for the first time, would you say summer is the time? Or would you say let's see what happens in September? Because it sort of sounds like prices still going to keep getting pushed upward. Would you
Yeah.
say look now in the summer, or wait till there's more product, or there already is a ton of product?
It depends what you're looking for. You know what I mean? You find that a lot of sellers, particularly sellers who have nice product and and have the choice of being able to wait, will often wait until after Labor Day. You do see a big surge of supply hit the market, after Labor Day, but there are options now, but there will be more options come early September. But again, you're dealing with rising prices, and as you can see from the stats package, you're seeing prices increasing by 1 to 0.5% per month. And look at some of these 3%, these 3-month numbers, and it's like anywhere from 2.6 all the way up to 9.7% increases in price, and some double-digit increases in price in the 6-month change up to June 2021. So, if you're a buyer and you're price sensitive, being focused now, I think you're gonna do better. And then another thing too is real estate's a momentum game. So even if you don't find what you're looking for now, you've got a clear if you're actively looking now, or you start looking now, then come early September, when all that supply hits the market, you're gonna be sort of ready, because you'll have seen what properties sell for. You've been out seeing different options, and you'll be sort of ready, because for a lot of people, myself included, it takes a while to sort of get ready and understand what's out there in the market before you actually pounce and buy something.
No, I understand. I understand. So again, coming back to these the rates over here, like we take a look in April, you take a look at what the 1 month change was in April, and these all numbers were all 3, 2, 7. There's even a 7 in there, 4%, depending on the area over here. Then we got to May over here, and the numbers just started to lighten up a little bit, but they were all still in the positive. So the prices kept going up month per month. Now, when we took a look at June, pretty much, I would say they're almost at the same level as they were 1 month ago. They're pretty much, 0.2 or negative 0.2. This sort of tells me that we're at the same pricing. But if you take a look at the 3 month, they're all upward. And, when do they get these numbers? Like as we headed into summer. I feel that in the summer, we're still going to stay relatively flat from a price perspective. But come September, come October, unless there's a dramatic change somewhere, we're probably going to see these numbers back heavily in the positive. What's your opinion
Absolutely.
there?
Yeah, no, I agree, because you get more buyers and more activity and more sales activity. And when you have more buyers, you get more competition. And then that's when you see, prices, get pushed up, because prices don't rise at a steady clip and a steady pace. There's micro fluctuations in the market, where 1 week things will be dead, and then all of a sudden things go crazy, and then 1 week things go dead. And then what you find is over the summer, things get quieter. There's more quiet times than there are busy times, but you still do get surges of activity and surges of busyness. But that surge of busyness always picks up after Labor Day, just because everybody's back from vacation, the weather's cooler, kids are back in school, life is back to normal, people are around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I dissect, I absolutely understand. Yeah, when I dissect, I was looking at homes versus condos over here. Again, as what you could see, the 6 month change has been dramatic, absolutely incredible. 6 month change, all in the double digits. And then when I look at the 1 month change over here, it's starting to stabilize back to sort of that zero kind of level. Then when we take a look at the condos, similar story, but the condos were a lot quieter at the very, very, in that sort of March, April, when everything else was going crazy. Would you say condos have really started to pick up as opposed to, 3, 4 months ago?
Yeah, but not dramatically. It's more, I think the condos are really going to pick up once we have the borders open, because new people to Canada, immigrants, foreign students, all those kind of people, they start with condos. You know what I mean? And they start in condos, either renting them, and in some cases buying them, but most cases renting them. So, I think that condo market is still quite good, but I think once those borders open, things are going to go pretty crazy for condos. And I think you're going to see more upward pressure on condos and high density options than you will on low density options, at that, during that time.
No,
Once
makes sense. It makes sense. For those people with questions, now is a great time to fire them in the chat and I will field them. But I will be the first to get us kicked off over here. Mike, is there anywhere out there that you would say is an actual bargain right now?
It's tough, man, with these super low rates and the amount of demand in the market. That's hard to find right now. Everybody's looking for that. If you're looking for, revenue, the Okanagan is quite good. But Southern Vancouver Island, the Lower Mainland, it can be very difficult to buy an investment property where you're getting significant revenue, but you can get some in the Fraser Valley, and you can get revenue, you can get cash flowing properties in the Fraser Valley, and you can get cash flowing properties in the Okanagan. But in Greater Vancouver, that's a very difficult thing to do. Typically those investments are strictly capital appreciation. So, and what I mean capital appreciation is you buy it and it goes up in value. But you're breaking even at best, or worst case scenario, you're subsidizing it. But you could be dealing with significant capital appreciation, and that's one of the things about the Vancouver area is you get that because you have so many new people coming here. It's a growing city.
I 100% agree. And, Vancouver has always done some very, very odd things. When they say go for like cash flow, I'm a big cash flow guy. Unfortunately, in Vancouver, to get something to cash flow, the down payment would probably have to be north of the 20%, right? Uh,
Totally.
but I actually just came back from the Okanagan. And while I was out there, of course, I was poking my nose around real estate. And absolutely, depending on where and the what, you can get some great investments out in the Okanagan, which, by the way, Mike, I know that you have got a partnership out there. If anyone
Yeah.
was looking for a cash flowing property, Mike can help them out. And he could do a great comparison by showing you what's in Vancouver and how much we'd have to put down, what's in the Fraser Valley, and what's with some of the material he's looking out in the Okanagan. But I know I was inquiring and looking around, and there's some great places out there. I know places like Kelowna are quite hot right now for the condo market. So you want to deal with a trusted realtor to
Totally.
see what's going on. But so it sounds like I've always given this advice: if you're buying the home not for a rental but to live in it yourself, there really is no better time than the present. Trying to time a Vancouver market is one of the most dangerous things, especially if you're on the outside looking in and you're waiting for it to go down, or you're waiting for more idealistic conditions, or I think that more people have been burned by that and then ended up jumping in at a later date than people have sort of said, oh, I waited 2 years and then I got a significant smoking good deal. I think it's pretty rare. If you are serious and you are thinking of jumping in, then absolutely you should probably start the process. Or if you're thinking of upgrading is another one. And that actually is some of the things that I do with my clients is I help them to determine whether it makes sense to upgrade or not. And some of the conclusions from this last month are, don't try to time the market. And predictions for the market over here, I agree with Mike. I think the market is now normalizing. I think in the short term, unless something dramatic happens, we're going to hit a more normal market, which means subject to finance, subject to inspection, negotiation on price. These are now going to become normal again. And when we were in the absolute crazy of the market, I said this, if anyone wanted to go back to listen to the recordings, I said, when times are really, really good, people think they're going to be good forever. When times are bad, people think they're going to be bad forever, but that's never the case. And when people were going through all of this, over asking and I got to go in with no subject, I said, well, that's not going to last forever if you're uncomfortable with that. And they thought they would, but now we're in that environment now where it's back to a normal market. I do think based off of the data, and I'm a big math guy, I do think that 2021 will remain upward trend for Vancouver real estate prices. I think
For
the
sure.
prices will continue to be pushed out. There's not one sign that I've seen that would push it downward. And so what am I doing with my clients over here? Of course, we're always reviewing the strategy, figuring out what it is that they want to do. What are some case examples of things that the types of clients that I work with? Married couple, they have a house, they want to upgrade their home, or maybe they want to invest in another property. They're not sure how to do it. They could sell their house, buy a larger home. They could sell their house, buy a smaller house, and invest in another property. They could keep their house, take out some of the equity from it to buy that other property. This is you need help figuring out this question. You need somebody who knows how to analyze this, who knows how to do their due diligence. And that's what we would do At Latitude West, we would start with a discovery meeting, and this meeting is free. The first meeting, the discovery meeting, we do not charge anything. All we're doing is collecting information, and you're getting to know us and what we can do for you, and we're getting to know you as to what is the problem that you're trying to solve. If we did work together, we would then move on to the navigation and the implementation meetings over here. So our discovery meetings are all complimentary. So what we can do is we can analyze what it would look like if you had 2 properties, if you had 3 properties, if we were to leverage it, or if you were to sell it. And then we sort of figure out, where will you be in 20 years from now? Which one will you be better off? So those are the types of things that a true financial advisor should be helping you with, not just the stocks, not just the bonds, not just the mutual funds, but with the real estate, So should I be using advisor? Well, stats has always shown that over time, 15 plus years, somebody who has worked with a professional advisor tends to be almost 3 times wealthier than trying to do it on your own. So if it's time to talk with me or my team, assistant@latitude-west.ca. That's how you would reach out to us, assistant@latitude-west.ca. So once again, our next workshop, we actually are not setting a date just yet. We are going to send out an invite. We're going to switch up the platform a little bit. But what we would like to do is we would like some feedback. Some different things on what you guys would like to hear about. So if you're listening to the live recording, or if you're listening right now, or if you're listening to the live recording, we want to have you reach out to us to say, this is what I'd like to see at your next webinar. So we are going to switch things up a little bit, and we're going to change things a little bit. If you want us to analyze maybe a certain area or a certain product, or maybe there's something different that you want us to compare against. So right now, like I said, we're going to ask for your feedback, and you could connect with us, letting us know what are some things you want to see at the next one over here. And then we're going to be happy to allow that. So last roundup, was there any last questions that anyone would like to ask as to anything that we've spoken about so far, or any other real estate questions? Now's the time to enter them. And while we're doing that roundup over here, if you are ready to connect, you could reach me at assistant@latitude-west.ca. And that's also the email address that you would give us your input. If you would like to see something a little bit different, a little bit of a different format that we're going to do at our next talk, just send us the feedback, suggestions at assistant@latitude-west.ca. We are taking suggestions. Now, if you want to connect with Mike to talk about real estate, or maybe want to see what your house is worth and what it would be look like to upgrade it, or maybe you want an investment property and you want to take a look at the Okanagan compared to the Fraser Valley, Mike at mikestewart.ca is how you would connect, or you can phone them or text them at 604-763-3136, or visit vancouvercondos.com. Now, Mike is also the one you want to connect with if you wanted the full report on the latest real estate stats. Maybe you want to see what your particular area, how much it's gone up in value. Mike would be the one to connect with there. And then myself at assistant@latitude-west.ca is how you would connect if you wanted to give us some input, some feedback, or if you're ready to connect and you want to talk about your situation and how myself as a financial advisor can help you. All right, so I think that's our last little roundup over here. Thank you guys for listening. We will reach out and give you an invite to our next one. No date has been set yet, but keep an eye out. We are going to be doing another one this summer. All right, Mike.
Yeah,
I will wish you a good summer as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and appreciate it.
All right. Okay. See you guys at the next one.